The following production is produced by the State University of New York College at Oneonta.
Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of Inside Red Dragon Sports. I'm your host, Geoff Hassard, Assistant Director of Athletics and Sports Information Director here at SUNY Oneonta. And as our winter season winds down and our postseason starts to get geared up, we've invited into studio tonight the wrestling program. We're going to highlight and preview their upcoming NCAA National Qualifying Tournament this weekend at Ithaca College. So please join me after the break, where I'll be joined by head coach Dwayne Ritter and assistant coach Billy Cooper.
What makes D3 special is the ability to participate in my team and within the broader community.
The perfect ending to a perfect season.
Being a D3 student athlete has completely expanded my life.
I learned how to lead. I really found a voice.
What time is it?
It's more about the experience rather than just a sport itself.
Without the experience of being a Division III student athlete, I wouldn't be the person who I am today.
NCAA Division III. Discover, develop, dedicate.
Welcome back to the show. Joining me now in studio is head wrestling coach Dwayne Ritter and assistant coach Billy Cooper. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming by. We're into the, I guess you'd say now, the preview for our NCAA qualifying tournament. Can you kind of give us a rundown of how you think the season went overall and how we look going into the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, we had a strong season. We're really young. It was a rebuilding year. We finished 12th at the NCAA championships last year, which was great with the two All-Americans. We knew it was going to be a bit of a rebuilding year. Had some unfortunate accidents early. We lost two of our top transfers to preseason medical before the season even started. But we had a strong group of freshmen that came in, some good leadership in our seniors, who will be on a little bit later. And we've really done a great job with some freshmen. We were starting over half freshmen this year, and we finished nationally ranked in the top 30 in the final pool of the season, which was great too, to not start in the pool, kind of be the underdogs all year, and then work our way in there with wins over multiple nationally ranked teams. And again, without any standouts, we had no All-Americans or anything in our lineup, and we beat several teams that had them. So I was very proud of what we accomplished with the group that we had.
So now you've been here 11 years now with our program, and Billy, you've been here.
This is my fourth year.
Fourth year as a coach, but you also were an undergrad.
Yes.
You wrestled for us a couple of years.
Correct, yes, 4 years actually.
Yeah, you grew up in
Walton, New York, just over the hill.
Yeah, now, but you didn't come to college right away. You spent some time in the service?
Yep, 4 years in the military. I was an All-Army wrestler there, and as soon as my term was up, I was on the phone with Coach Ritter. He was recruiting me, and they got me over here, and just kept on moving.
Now, what would you say about, because obviously you were an older student coming to Oneonta, what would you say about your experience as an older student with, kids that were 18, 19?
It was challenging, I think the body only has so many miles on it, and I was a little bit older than the freshmen that came in. I had sustained a couple injuries in the military that I was battling, but I persevered through it. I had the coaches work with me, good training staff to get me through it, and it all worked out.
Yeah. Now, what about your 4-year experience at Oneonta would you maybe highlight?
Well, I was an all-state wrestler. As a senior captain, we finished 14th in the country, which is our highest finish up until last year. And multiple All-Americans, great team. Lots of highlights that I could name that we.
Yeah. Now wrestling, and Dwayne, we talked about it last year when we had him on the show. Last time we had you on the show, we just finished up with that very successful NCAA tournament, 2 All-Americans. That was quite an accomplishment for the program. So when you're out recruiting and working with these younger kids now coming into the program, I mean, what kinds of things do you try and emphasize with them?
We're trying to sell a lot of the total package at Oneonta. Some of the stuff we do, the community service, the academics, and the wrestling is a total package versus some of our peers who may focus primarily on the athletics. I tell recruits out there it's not necessarily just the wrestling, but where you go from here. And to see our alumni being very successful, as we talked about, Wake going on, getting the job recently with Ernst & Young, the top accounting firm. You know, those are the things that we're really looking for. Those Monar Award winners, top scholar athletes, and you know, we push that from day one. We don't have the physical education major, which a lot of athletes want to go into, but we do have great academics here. It's a great campus, and to bringing those kids on, showing them what we've done in the last 10 years, and where we've come from. You know, and like I said, that it's a total package experience. It's not just going to be about your athletics at Oneonta, but it's everything. The total
now, Billy,
experience.
did you find that? I mean, wrestling. I mean, Dwayne was your coach or whatever. I mean, did you find that?
Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, I'm employed locally right down at the newspaper here in town, and you know, when I applied for a position, he was looking at my resume, and SUNY Oneonta, huh? And kind of raised his eyebrow. Okay, so the reputation's out there that we are a premier academic institution as well as a competitive athletic institution. Right. So
now you were kind of in a little transition. I mean, at that time, Al Sosa, who had been here for 40 some odd years, turning it over to another coach, Young. I mean, is there any differences in philosophy maybe when you were involved in the program, or is it pretty much the same? And
I think Coach Ritter he did well by bringing a lot of the core values that Al Sosa installed into the program, and he kind of added his own flavor as well.
Right.
And then he brought me in as an assistant, and we just fine-tune every year. Every year we do something a little bit different. Each class is a little bit different and needs different attention. So we've transitioned when we needed to.
Right. Now, have you been able to transfer some of the lessons that you learned as a student athlete here to these younger kids that are coming into our program?
Yes. I can kind of give them forewarning about classes and stuff like that, and not to make the same mistakes that I did. Not that any of them were major, but that's just make the road a little less bumpy for the student athlete.
And really, as coaches, I mean, that's what we're trying to do. I mean, we're trying to guide these student athletes through their 4 years of college and make the most of it. I mean, we want our student athletes to be successful and on the mat and in the classroom, which now that's kind of the way, wrestling seems to be kind of a really close-knit group of athletes and coaches. Dwayne, is that how you gear the program when you bring kids into Oneonta?
Yeah, it's important. You have the individual and the team component, and it's important to have both of those, I think. Sometimes wrestlers will look at, well, I can be a national champ on my own, I don't need the others. But if you don't have a workout partner and others there driving you, it makes the road much more difficult. I've really tried to instill a sense of team, and that includes some of the team campouts, our paintball outings at the end of the year, some team picnics, and just everything we can to try and keep the guys, working together as a team. Even though they can, win as an individual, they can win as a team. They have that, luxury in the sport of wrestling. It's both components, not just the team, but the individual component as well.
Right. Now, you guys being former wrestlers, I mean, pretty good wrestlers, I would say. Do you mix it up with the guys when they're working out? I mean, do you step in to try and show them things and how do you handle yourselves?
I would say selectively. We don't wrestle with the seniors as much. When we bring them in, we tell them that we want them to be beating us by the time they leave here, and most of them are. When they get here, they're still wrestling as high schoolers, and they're making freshman mistakes. And as we weed all that out, they get tougher and tougher. And we only have so much in us that we can release. So
now, when go ahead.
Yep. Yeah, we still once in a while, but again, it gets a little more selective every year as we get older. They get younger and better. And like I said, it is a challenge. It's a very physical sport. But like I said, there's times when we work in with them where we can, and we have to, obviously, to incorporate technique and things like that.
Right. But, now, is it all about having those guys that are state champions from high school, or what kind of emphasis do you try to do on developing some of these younger wrestlers? Like we have a couple of freshmen this year, Ben Mikak and Dan Graff, who show some promise for the future. As they come into the program, how are you kind of trying to work with them? I mean, are you hoping that they develop and try and work out those high school mistakes?
Definitely. They're both real good kids. We were happy to get them last year in the recruiting process. We knew they were both talented. Ben had lost in his sectionals and didn't get to go to the States, and in a way we were somewhat happy, so he didn't get the other looks. We wanted to see him go on. He didn't get the wild card to go to the States, but we knew that was his only loss. He lost in overtime in the sectional finals. We knew he was the caliber kid we wanted. Dan was a two-time section runner-up as well, was right there, made it to the round of 10 at the state championships, so we know they were both the kind of kids we wanted to come in and work with. and they've done a great job this season, as well as a couple other freshmen too that we've had. Derek Wignall and Provenzano up top have been doing very well. We have some other guys that stepped in and won some matches for us where we had holes too with some other guys out. So I've been very, very happy with that class. And we have some sophomores too. The older Provenzano and JP Sala that have had some exceptional years for us. So
now some of the upperclassmen, we're going to have a couple seniors on that have had pretty solid seasons for us, Brian Kramer and Mike Gregg. I mean, what have they meant to your team and the leadership that they show?
They've both been exceptional leaders, both on the mat and off the mat. Right now both of them are student teaching, and they're going to be great teachers and coaches someday, and that's what we're looking for. That's the idea of our program. Not everyone can make it through. It's a challenge. It's one of the toughest sports there are, and the daily demands of any sport. But just being a college athlete, the academic, the discipline that's required, and then you throw in weight loss with our sport, and all the other things they have to do outside. It's very tough. And both those young men have got to a point where I think we want to see them, and they're going to go out and I think be very successful alumni, and hopefully coaching some good teams and send us back some recruits someday.
Right. Now, Billy, did you think you were going to be involved in coaching, or did you just kind of happen upon it? Or?
It all kind of fell into my lap, actually. I was living out closer to Albany. My fiance was pursuing her master's degree at St. Rose, and I was job searching at the time, so I was looking around here and out there, and I happened to land the job at the Daily Star downtown, and I called Coach Ritter and told him about it, and he's like, hey, well, we've got a position opening up if you're interested. I said, absolutely. And
so what does it mean to you to be able to, you wrestled for the program, you saw it grow, now you're in a different position. I mean, what does that mean to you to be able to come back and impact?
It's great. I love it. It's actually, I don't stop, year round. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't think about the program and the team and, what we're doing differently and, who we're bringing back, who we're bringing in. It's just a nonstop thing, and it's great. I don't know what I'd do without it. It's a real experience.
Now, we talk a little bit about community service, and of course the pit run is our huge event in the fall, and it has become synonymous with wrestling in our program. I mean, when people think of the pit run, SUNY Oneonta wrestling. I mean, what does that mean to our program to be able to be out front like that?
I think it's great just to bring kids in because I came in from Pennsylvania 11 years ago, thought maybe I'd do my master's and be Al's assistant coach for a couple years. 11 years later, I'm still here. I love the community, and bringing guys in, engaging them in the community early, I think is really key. It's in honor of Ricky Parisian, which is just a great cause. So it's for a good purpose, a great cause, and just trying to get the guys engaged into this community, especially the freshmen moving in. I think you hear too from the seniors that it becomes just part of something they're proud of. And we're out there with the community. It's a good, challenging physical run to start off our season. I know everyone thinks, oh, well, the wrestlers are in great shape. Well, that's our very first meeting really of the year. We can't start any practices before that, so some of them do better than others, and we've had some guys do all right running-wise too, but it is the very start to our season. I think it's a great way to start it off.
I mean, we've had a couple of wrestlers. I mean, Mike Hamilton almost, he's in the top 10 every year.
He's still doing it,
and he's he was a 174, 184-pound guy for us. I mean, so it certainly is possible. I mean,
yes.
What did it mean to you as a student athlete to be able to be involved in an event like that? I mean, it's a huge event.
Shin splints. No, it was great. After we finished up every year, you have this sense of accomplishment and sense of community pride, instilled in you that you just carry on. And it's, every time we bring a class in, I tell the guys the same thing. Wait till this is over. You're just going to feel great about yourself and your community, and like you've actually achieved something. And we just take that and use that momentum to get the season underway, and it works out pretty well for us.
Just quickly here, closing up, who do we want to look for in the ECWC this weekend at Ithaca? Who are the guys that we are going to stand out for us?
Well, you'll be talking with a couple of them here shortly, Kramer and Greg. LaMonica was ranked previously. He's been out with an injury, but he's making a comeback now. He's looking to make a strong showing, I think. And McAck, Graff have both been conference. They've won the Rookie of the Week, I think. Graff twice, so we've been very excited with that, and I can't say we'll have the top seeds or be the favorites going in, but I think definitely all of our guys across the weight classes can mix it up, and we'll be looking to pull a couple of those upsets and turn some heads.
I mean, it appears that it could be one of our stronger lineups from top to bottom, you know, maybe in the past couple of years, where we, in every weight class, we're going to compete for something, and hopefully a national qualifier.
Yeah, we were looking, you know, through the rankings, and rankings are just rankings where they have the ranking seeds, but you know, we have a lot of our freshmen, more freshmen than any school that are in those, you know, and they may be 4 or 5 seed going in, but they're in that seeding, so and they're eager, and hopefully, like I said, ready to turn some heads at the conference championships.
Well, we certainly wish you good luck this weekend, and hopefully we'll have some people that go on to nationals, and we can improve on that 12th place spot from last year, right? You never know. Well, thanks for coming by tonight, gentlemen.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right.
Thank you, Jeff.
And I'd like to thank head coach of our wrestling program, Dwayne Ritter, and assistant coach Billy Cooper for coming by tonight. And after the break, I'll be joined by seniors Mike Gregg and Brian Kramer.
WUOW 104.7 FM is the region's premier radio station, offering award-winning programming from National Public Radio and Pacifica Radio networks, giving you the chance to become more informed about the arts, information, and entertainment from around the country and around the world. WUOW is your community radio station. Join us and support the sound.
Welcome back to the show. Joining me now are senior wrestlers Mike Gregg and Brian Kramer. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Why don't you let us know a bit about yourself first, Brian?
Oh, I'm actually from Massachusetts, Hopkinton, Massachusetts, and I found Oneonta, one of the SUNY schools that I looked at, and it turned out to be the right fit. I'm an education major, and wrestling is kind of what I was looking to do. And so now, as a senior, I'm student teaching in Lawrence Central. I'm a childhood education major, so right now I'm in a 4th grade class, working there every day. So.
And what about you, Mike?
I'm from Islip, Long Island. When I was looking at schools, Oneonta was high on my list. Coach Ritter really made Oneonta feel like home and made it feel like the place where I was going to succeed with wrestling and academics. I was real excited to come in. This is my 5th year at the institution. I'm finishing up, going to graduate in May. Student teaching right now at Oneonta High School. Really loving it. I'm surrounded by a great group of people, a lot of really academically based people, and I'm really having a good time doing it.
Well, certainly we know you guys have been successful both in the classroom and on the mat. You guys are having great senior years. I mean, you've had some clutch wins for us, and some pulling out some wins coming from behind. You know, just even most recently against Williams, who was nationally ranked. And I mean, are those the moments you live for? I mean, what's that?
Yeah, I mean, coming in, and it didn't come easy, of course. Coming in as a freshman, you're coming out of high school probably pretty successful, and college is completely different. You know, you get beat up, you come in. I had maybe 5 or 6 wins, maybe nowhere near 10 wins my freshman year, and you get better, and as you move along. And senior year, I've had a pretty good season. The whole team has had a great season, and you know, you get rewarded when you put in the work, and our team has worked hard. So.
And now, do you find that the same way, Mike? I mean, of course, you had the extra year, you got hurt, you came back from an injury, and now are you reaching your potential? Is this what you expected?
Yeah, I think so. We put in a lot of hard work. I mean, Coach Ritter and Brian and all the guys in the team have really put in a conscious effort to get better. And like Coach Ritter said before, it's not about one guy. You know, you can come in every day and work hard, but you need those guys around you to come in and work hard and push you and be there. And you know, we've been doing a great job. We're doing some good things, and we're real happy about it.
Now we've finished our dual meet season. We finished 13-6-1, which, you know, as Coach Ritter mentioned, we got in the national poll at number 30 or whatever, which was pretty awesome, because we weren't ranked, and all of a sudden we were knocking off these ranked teams. I mean, we knocked off 2 in one weekend, our final dual weekend. I mean, what does that mean to you guys as you now go into the ECWC, which now is your opportunity to qualify for the national tournament? So what does that mean to you guys as senior leaders on our team?
Well, I mean, coming into the season, you know, we weren't ranked as a team. We might have had one kid as an individually ranked, And now late in the season, we don't have any individuals ranked, but our team is ranked. So I think that speaks volumes to, you know, across the board how tough and how good everyone is. And, you know, it's exciting going into the conference tournaments. Everyone, I think, on the team, every weight class has a legitimate shot at getting, you know, winning the tournament or getting a wild card and going to nationals. So it's pretty exciting.
Now for you, Mike, as a senior leader?
Well, losing our two All-Americans last year, Wake and Wade, that was tough. We knew coming back, you know, some guys were going to have to step up, and everybody this year has really done a good job with stepping up. I mean, that weekend at Williams College, we didn't have a 174-pounder, and C.J. Javinsky jumped up and won a big dual meet for us, won a big match. I mean, if it's tied going into that match, he's a freshman. He goes in there and beats a quality wrestler, and we win that dual meet and beat a nationally ranked team. So everyone's been working real hard, and everyone's been contributing.
So now the new kids coming in, I mean, Coach Ritter mentioned we got a lot of young wrestlers, but some pretty talented wrestlers. I mean, you know, we mentioned a few, Ben and
yeah,
Dan.
Absolutely. Dan and Ben, and I think we got tons of talent in this freshman class, but above that, I think all the kids that we got this year were good kids, you know, and that's what I love to see. Every one of them are coming in with great attitudes, working hard, you know, and just nice kids, generally good kids, and, you know, cool to hang out with, and so it's been great. I love working with them and getting them better, so it's been awesome.
Yeah, the 5 years I've been here, this is definitely the best freshman class we've had, talent-wise and dedication-wise. These kids, you know, they come to practice every day working hard, and they don't give us anything as seniors. They come at us 110% every day in the room. Ben and Dan, sorry, are trying to rip my head off. They don't give us anything, which is great. They've been working hard. I think if we keep those guys together, 4 years through school, we're going to have a tough team in the next 4 years.
So when you guys, as you know, you'll be graduating from the program, you know, some of the things you pass on to them, you know, you see that they now even possess some of those leadership skills as freshmen that, you know, yeah, we can be better if we push, and yeah, we're wrestling upperclassmen and we're holding our own. So I mean, how important is that as you leave the program to know that those freshmen are there?
I mean, it's definitely, I mean, it's important. You know, the young guys coming in as freshmen, they have to break that barrier. They have to learn and figure out that, yes, I can compete with these older kids. You know, they are 21, 22 years old, but you know, once they start getting a couple wins under their belt, they get that confidence, and then they get that confidence in the wrestling room, and then they pick up that leadership role. They start yelling at kids, start working harder, start running faster, this and that. And so it's picked up, and even the freshman guys have stepped up and become leaders for us. So
the older guys in the team have done a great job. Young guys like Frank Provenzano has really stepped up and set precedent on this team, and the freshmen have followed suit. And everyone's really, you know, really committed to what we're doing here, and that's working hard and wrestling hard, doing well in school, and I think we're going to do a lot of good things for years to come.
Now, when you one of the first things you said was, you know, you were looking at SUNY Oneonta, and of course you right away you knew that this is the place you wanted to come because of the, you know, Coach Ritter talked about academics and athletics and the success. I mean, has that been it for you during your 4 years? I mean, what kinds of things would you highlight from your 4-year experience? Well, 5-year experience, but really.
I mean, Coach Ritter's been great. Everyone at SUNY Oneonta has been great. Like I said, nobody can do it on their own. I mean, from Coach Ritter to the training staff to the academic people, the education program has been great to me. Everyone's really helpful, and anytime I had a bump in the road or a slip in my step, there was somebody there to help, and especially Coach Ritter's always been there, and really made this place like home and a great atmosphere to learn and wrestle.
Now, and that helps the overall team?
Yeah, well, coming in, the thing that pulled me was that, you know, Oneonta is a step above academically, and one of the first things that I learned about the school was the pit run, the community service that we do, and Coach Ritter told me about it when I came here with my parents, and it sounded exciting, sounded cool. Oh, it's a 10K run. It's a little far, but that's all right. It gets you in shape.
Yeah.
And you know, academically, it's been a perfect fit for me. Wanting to become a teacher, you know, this is the perfect school for education. And going forward, I'm very, very happy to have chosen to come to Oneonta here.
Now, how, as you say, as you go on now, I mean, how important is it to see someone like a Josh Wake, who's, you know, got a job at, you know, one of the top firms in the country, academic-wise, you know,
Yeah.
accounting-wise? I mean, what does that mean for you guys plus the younger kids?
it's awesome to see. Josh came in with same class as me, and Josh is a real good friend of mine. I know a real good friend of Brian's, and he was kind of, stuck around here and was helping us out coaching, and he did a real great job. And we're really missing him right now, actually. He was a great presence in the room, being an All-American and a scholar athlete, and all the awards he won. He was a great person to have around this program.
Right.
And we wish him the best. He's doing a great job.
Right. Now, and what do you think that for the kids now that are freshmen, they see a guy like that?
Yeah, I mean, looking forward, you see Josh Wade go out and get a great job like that. Kind of gives us confidence. I know we're going into education. It's not the greatest market nowadays, but it does give you a little confidence. You say, all right, well, he just graduated. He got a great job. I can get out there, work hard and keep pushing, keep looking for that job, and we'll get there. So,
right,
and even the younger guys, they see, oh, well, he graduated. He's got an awesome job. So he put his 4 years in. He wrestled tough. He was an All-American. Everything went great for him, and so.
Right, so it's really about commitment, hard work, being dedicated to what you really want to do, and for you guys, it's the education. You want to be a teacher. You guys interested in coaching?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see that in your
I'd like to be
future?
a coach. Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. Now wrestling, because you guys played other sports in high school.
Yep, I definitely a wrestling coach. I played baseball in high school. I think Mike played baseball as well.
Yep.
But being a wrestling coach is absolutely on my radar. I want to get a teaching job and look for that coaching position, because I love every time we go off for break, I go home to my high school wrestling team and work with those guys, and it's kind of cool seeing the young guys grow up, getting better, and I really look forward to being a coach and having my own team and building them. So
now we also you mentioned the pit run, the community service. What's it been like when you came in as a freshman, and then now as you're going and you're ending that, you ran that for the last time, but was it overwhelming as a freshman, and now it's something that you just do for the community? I mean, that's what it is. It's community service.
The pit run's a great event. I mean, that really is really near and dear to our hearts as wrestlers here at Oneonta State. We really take a lot of pride in it, and it really does mean a lot. When we're running, and like you said, it's almost come synonymous with the pit run. When we're running and people are like, yeah, Oneonta wrestler, keep going.
Yeah.
It's a big deal when you're running and people are cheering for you, and that makes the race that much shorter. And when it's over, you're almost wishing there was more to run, because it feels great to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Pit run, I mean, even though it's a good, decent run, it's not bad. You get up to Hunt Union, and that's the hardest part, and everything else is downhill.
Yeah.
But even with the pit run's not it. We do the leaf raking around town for the local elderly, which is awesome. And actually, Mike and I have helped out with some of the youth wrestling tournaments. We go and rep, and that's always a ton of fun. You see the young guys who don't know anything about wrestling rolling around, kind of dancing around each other, running away from each other, this and that. So that's always a good time to go work
Now,
with.
as we go into our qualifying tournament, I mean, you guys will be seated pretty high in your weight classes, 184 for Brian and 141 for Mike. I mean, what are you hoping for? I mean, is it really the NCAA? I mean,
Definitely.
Yeah, and do you think it's possible?
I think it's definitely possible. I think Brian has a great shot. I think everyone on our team really has a great shot. We have top to bottom, our lineup, guys are tough, and they're competitors, and there's no reason why anybody can knock off one of those top guys. A lot of weight classes in our Empire Conference are stacked. It's a tough conference. Everyone's tough. But I would never bet against our guys. They're tough, and they like to battle, man.
No, and I think that's really been a kind of the MO for our team this year, and we've battled, and we haven't been out of any matches, even the ones we, didn't win this year. I mean, we were right there. We lost by a couple points in some of them. I mean, against nationally ranked guys, and we certainly, think you guys are all capable. And like we mentioned earlier on the show, we were talking to Coach about, this is probably our deepest and strongest 10, because you can only bring 10, unfortunately.
Right.
I mean, you can't bring any more than that, but one-on-one. So we certainly wish you guys the best of luck. And we wish you the best of luck after graduation, because that's really where you guys will make your strides and build your success. So thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having
us. Thank you very much.
All right. We'd like to wish both of them good luck this weekend at Ithaca College in the Empire Collegiate Wrestling Conference Tournament, which is the NCAA qualifier for wrestling. And again, I'd like to thank head coach Dwayne Ritter and assistant coach Billy Cooper for coming by this evening. And we'd like to thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week on Inside Red Dragon Sports.